everybody loves a bad guy, and our next guest has made a career out of it.
Aussie actor Damon Herriman has made a career out of playing some dodgy fellas.
So I got a scattergun pointed right at you.
Leo had him in cuffs in Clint Eastwood's J. Edgar, and then there was the time he played a doped-up drug dealer in Breaking Bad.
I don't have enough for you, all right?
Lately, Damon's been giving us a double dose of serial killer, playing Charles Manson in Quentin Tarantino's Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, and in the Netflix series Mindhunter.
It's my fault that your children do what they do?
In his latest film, he's a deeply troubled 17th century puppeteer named Punch in the dark comedy Judy and Punch.
Make way for the murderers, the killers of babies and wives, make way!
And it's time to make way for Damon on the desk.
Would you please welcome the incredible Damon Herriman? Welcome, great to see you. For everyone that's getting excited about a sort of holiday season remake of Punch and Judy, this is not the film.
Well, not maybe for the really little kids. It's definitely appeals to most ages. I think it's got some great laughs in there, but there's definitely some darker stuff in there.
I mean,
too.
it is an incredible take on this ancient story. Did you know the story?
I knew it a little. I mean, when I was a little kid, I think I saw some Punch and Judy puppet shows at primary school or something. You don't see Punch and Judy puppet shows so much anymore, probably for good reason. But yeah, it was Mira Folks, our wonderful writer-director, kind of came up with this idea of creating a false invented origin story as if Punch and Judy were a real couple. And then all the sort of tropes from the old puppet show are thrown into the movie.
So, Damon, it's called Judy and Punch as opposed to Punch and Judy. That might give us a little bit of a tip about where it's going.
Yes. There's definitely a feminist revenge tale going on in there as well. At the beginning of the film, Punch is kind of in control, and he's this quite narcissistic, self-obsessed, alcoholic, slightly violent husband. And let's just say Judy gets her own back at some point.
It sounds almost like it's written for these times. But Mira would have been writing this even before the whole Me Too movement.
It is amazing. It's absolutely right. She was writing this years ago, and it just kind of came along at the perfect time.
Yeah.
You're so good at playing a bad guy. Is it like a compliment or highly offensive when someone says, you're such a great psychopath? Like, is it...
Well, when it's intentional, it's a good thing. I mean, if they just said it when I was walking down the street, I probably wouldn't like it. But, those roles are often the really fun, juicy ones. And I spent so many years playing really nice, nerdy guys that I couldn't even get an audition for these kind of roles.
Right.
But back in Love My Way and that, you were so lovable and likeable.
Right, well, I mean, I did The Big Steal like 15 years before that, and then Love My Way 15 years later. I was basically the same guy, nice guy with glasses, and then suddenly, I started doing these kind of crazy bad people, and I'm hoping to turn it back to the nicer people for a while. I think
There's one particular bad guy you've played twice now, Charles Manson.
Yes.
Did you know you had any resemblance?
No, but a lot
Charles Manson.
a lot of people come out of the woodwork since to tell me that. I really appreciate it. I think I didn't, but I knew that when those auditions came along that, he was a short, I'm 5'7", he's 5'2". He was a really short guy. So I knew that the casting of that role was going to be limited to some shorter actors. So I knew that cut out a whole bunch of people. So other than that, and I guess my face is close enough, and it's like in the Mindhunter stuff, it's all prosthetic. So they basically completely changed my face.
So as an actor, would there be a bad guy that you would refuse to play?
Oh, I'm sure there would be, yeah. I mean, it would probably be dependent on what the actual scenes were, I think, as opposed to... I mean, Charles Manson, in the scenes that I played him, he's not doing anything horrific, but he certainly did do some horrific things. So I think it comes down to what you're actually playing. When
you say you want to get back to playing some good guys, is it sort of exhausting for you to be playing so many really bad dudes?
I don't know about exhausting so much. It's just that after a while, when people start pointing it out that that's what you're doing a lot of, you think, well, OK, I think it's time to mix it up a little bit. I think once you play Charles Manson twice in a row, it's probably time to go back to somebody a little nicer.
Are you a shake it off kind of at the end of the day? Do you take the work home with you?
No,
or do you
very much a shake it off. Thank goodness, considering the roles I've had.
Charles Manson at dinner.
I thought maybe you thought he was Taylor Swift by night or something.
You play great Taylor Swift. I'm not sure.
You've seen my Taylor.
Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Congratulations. I love the film. So Leonardo DiCaprio, Brad Pitt, Margot Robbie, of course, directed by Quentin Tarantino. Is that an intimidating set just to walk in on?
You know, you would think it should be, and you know, on paper it absolutely would be, and I do get nervous and anxious like a lot of actors do. Weirdly, that set was so calm and so relaxed, and they were all just acting like they were a bunch of mates making something together, that I actually didn't feel nervous. I didn't feel intimidated. I think when you reach that point, when you know someone at Quentin Tarantino's level, it sort of comes around full circle, and it's almost like just making a short film with some friends or something.
Surely you're just sitting there pinching yourself going, whoa,
There was a lot of pinching
good
myself
company.
Yeah, there was one point we were sitting inside the house that's the set for Sharon Tate's house, and Margot Robbie was there, and Brad Pitt's walking past, and Quentin Tarantino's there explaining how he kind of helped save celluloid from being, you know, got rid of forever. And I was just sitting there going, wow, this is insane.
So you banged on about that in private as well.
I did ask about it. I did ask.
You spend half the year here, half the year in Hollywood. Are you just trying to avoid winter, or is this?
Unfortunately, it often ends up being winter in both places sometimes, the way it turns out. But yeah, I mean, there's no particular sort of plan to it. It's just if there's work here or work there, that tends to be where I go. And if I'm not working, I usually try to be here.
Congratulations on Judy and Punch, because it looks like the kind of film that we don't often see in Australia.
It doesn't feel like an Australian film at all. I mean, it's set in somewhere in the UK in the 1600s, and yeah, I think the look of it, the feel of it, the tone of it is something very special. And you know, so far it's had a fantastic reaction at festivals and stuff around the world. So.
Great.
Well, Judy and Punch is in cinemas Thursday, the 21st of November. It's been an absolute pleasure having you here. Would you please thank Damon Herriman?